Purnamada Purnamidam Purnaha Purnahudachyate Purnahasya Purnamadahya Purnamavaha Vashishyate Om Shanti Shanti Shanti.
There's lots of aspects to practice, but finding the flow is a large part of it. And so I'll just talk about that a little bit and read you a few sutras that I think might be helpful for all of us to contemplate as we go into this. But one thing that eludes a lot of people, including myself occasionally, is that, practice is a gift. It is an opportunity for us to kind of swim downstream in the water of our own nature. And as we're swimming downstream, it's like we're feeling the currents that naturally propel us. So they're already there, but practice is an opportunity to actually feel those currents. And when we're in the flow like this, practice is easy because we're not really doing any work. And often it can feel like work, and that can be a detriment to practice. But practice can also feel like a break from our ordinary experience, which you could say is contracted. And it's not that we are contracted, it's just that our consciousness itself is slightly contracted, so we feel things a little differently. But when we're in the flow and we're going downstream, we have a chance to feel something that in yoga we call samadhi. So in the Vallaldo Sutras, there's some nice translations of how to think about this. And one goes like this: free of attachment, your true self will shine in the purity of samadhi. Consciousness slices open the night sky. Wisdom and truth spill out, overflowing in a downpour of stars. And those sutras are pointing us to that we feel the wisdom and truth when we're kind of flowing downstream in our bodies and our minds. It's a felt experience. But of course, sometimes, this is difficult because we're people, and that flow eludes us. And we seek to change the channel and get back into it by getting help, if we're smart. And that smart comes from, looking at teachings, listening to teachers, and we're hoping that these things will nudge us back into the flow. And it's important to remember that the flow is always there and we're always in it. It's just that our consciousness contracts and we don't feel it. So what the sutras remind us is that while teachers and teachings are a gift, the real gift is the actual experience of consciousness. So here's his translation of that. The truth of wise teachers and great books are gifts. The truth you discover through reason is a treasure. But most rare and precious jewel is the truth of experience. Experience samadhi, experience your true self, and become the truth, and become truth itself. So this is why we're here today. It's to give ourselves the gift of experience. And maybe right now, even we're all getting nudged by thinking about it, but it's really the sitting and practicing that will do it. And as we return to practice over and over again, whether it's day after day or week after week, or right now, minute after minute, we will have many experiences of becoming truth itself. It is happening. It's going to happen right now as we sit. And that experience itself is samadhi. It's the thing that we're looking for. And when that happens, pathways are cleared. The mind becomes fit for feeling the flow more regularly. And as a side, which is important to us, but really as a side thing, we get what we actually seek in the moment. And that could be a little different for each of us, but generally it goes something like happiness, contentment, peacefulness, better relationships. And that all comes from the experience of being in the flow. And just know that no matter how many times you fall out of it, even in a brief 30-second period, that gift is being bestowed on you over and over and over again. And if you're new to meditation, I'd just like to add that that can be a little hard to understand until you've meditated for a while. So there's a little faith involved. So if you're here for a certain reason, like you'd like a particular thing to be better for you, just know that these practices are designed to help you get there with all this in mind. So it might not seem linear at first, but it is